Ah, wow. I just feel so inspired and deeply grateful for the journey, for the self awareness, for the wisdom that I'm growing into. Before diving deeper into the world of entertainment, I just wanted to share how grateful I feel. I just listened to this guy. I think the channel of YouTube is called the, the Wisdom of Sadhguru, an Indian guru. He's so funny because he always talks with his very deep Indian accent, and then he says, "Isn't it? Isn't it?" And I love it so much because I'm not the person who's gonna be, how should I say, spend hours and hours binge watching videos or like on a constant basis. I'm gonna do it once in a time, like what I just did. I just spent 2 hours watching videos about celebrities gossip. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. But then I fell onto this video, and as he was speaking, I could totally relate what he meant because the video was about how to find your passion. And then for some people, I realized it seemed too far fetched or too much complex to understand, should I say? But when I listened to his video, it just made complete sense. You know, when it makes so much sense deep down and it actually resonates into your soul, there's a deeper understanding to it. And you know it when you feel it inside. It can be quite hard to explain, I guess, for some people, but I guess you'll know it when you'll know it. Like when I used to ask people, how do you know that you're in love with someone? That would be a very often question because up until today, up until recently in my life, I'm still very young. I used to be so curious and I wouldn't misunderstand the concept of love, romantic love. And I would keep asking people, explain to me, what do you feel when you feel love for someone? How do you know that you love someone, you know? And then people used to answer me, well, Macy, you'll know when you'll know. I'm like, what kind of a bullshit answer is that, you know? And that was before, when I used to be a lot with my ego centered and my own understanding of the world. I needed a lot of clarity, answers, and visual and senses, visual explanation, senses. I was really in this 3D world, so I would just not be settled with this answer. Anyhow, so one of the answer of the guy of the Sadhguru is to retreat yourself for a couple of days, and that he said that basically you should be passionate about all things, and at the end of the day, your life is meaningless in the sense that compared to the life of a tree, let's say the tree, it's a much longer lifetime than you, so your life compared to the tree is so meaningless. But your life compared to an insect, it's such a long lifetime, right? Because the insect lasts a couple of days, a couple of weeks before dying and restarting the cycle. So you have to find joy and fulfillment and involvement in whatever you're called into doing, right? But in order to do that, it's about retreating yourself. And my previous video was about how to have more clarity. It was to retreat yourself, you know. And I know it might be challenging for many people to do that because we grew up so much into, even if it was a toxic environment, we grew up so much into the presence of a lot of people in our lives, right? To the point that we had this unhealthy need to have always a human presence with us or an animal presence to just makes us feel comfortable. And just the idea of being lonely and alone is kind of fearful. And this is one of the thing I think that many leaders, the right kind of leaders, want to bring forth, and this is one of my mission the more I get into this spiritual journey, is to not teach necessary people, although some people are students and some people are teachers, right? And as I'm digging digging deeper into this, some people are meant to be led and some people are meant to lead, right? I don't know, it's just a natural balance out of things. And when you look at the story of Jesus the Christ of Nazareth, who used to be a teacher, he brought with himself 12 disciples who was following him. But then I don't know if he was expecting them to lead afterwards, but I think they did when they saw him rise again from the death. But I believe that some people are meant to lead and some people are meant to be led. Not because the leader is necessarily superior and the student necessarily inferior, but that anything in this world, this universe that we could not comprehend fully with our own little mind, is about balance, divine, humble balance. If everybody, and like I used to say when I was with my family driving somewhere, there's too many captains in the boat. So the same concept goes, I guess, here, where if all of us were teachers or leaders, there would be an imbalance, right? And I believe that the more you seek this divine balance within yourself, within your environment, within your social environment, within your energy environment, the more fulfilled you will feel, and the more perfected you can become. Not being a perfect being, but just perfected in designing your life as it should, and be at the right moment at the right time, and being in good alignment, right, with the divinity. So I don't know why I was talking about that. I'm getting lost in thoughts. But all that to say that it was very nice and refreshing to connect and understand such an advanced teacher such as the Sadhguru, and understand it in such a deeper level. You know, sometimes you're looking at yourself on another level, like outside of yourself, like, oh my gosh, girl, like, what did you do to be at this point in your life or this level? You know, like, you don't know until you know. You know what I mean? You don't know how much you have moved forward and grown until you compare yourself in your past self, right? Until you make the comparisons. So nothing is beautiful, ugly, aligned, not aligned, high, low, until you compare it with other components, right? The reason why when we go to school we have letter A to D to F even, and we grade it, is compared to your peers at your classmates, right? According to whom gave me the answers, the highest would be the A plus, and the lowest of the exam or the dissertation would be the lowest grade. So it's because we keep living in this comparison. But that I could talk about it for another video, because it's not even the subject of my video here, guys. I'm getting lost in thoughts. The concept of my video is about entertainment, the world of entertainment. I'm just feeling inspired because I just watched literally 2 hours and more of a celebrity gossip about Selena and Hailey, about what she went through. And then I stumbled upon Justine and Selena, and then I stumbled into all the music videos, and then I stumbled into Kanye West, who got a very, should I say, or I feel like a spiritual awakening. Like, all of those, at the end of the day, obviously we can barely know the truth because it's all assumptions or speculations, because at the end of the day it's gossip. And then it made me realize, like I said before, there's followers and leaders. Some people love to read about other people's life and they learn through that, right? I don't find that, I find that energy sucking in my case. Like I am meant to create. I think this is a reason why I was put in this into this world to create. I remember one of whom I think my boyfriend said was like, "Girl, you're just good with." He didn't say girl, that's his type, but it's just, babe, you're just good with your words. Like you are not vomiting words, but you're just like naturally good with words. This is one of your gifts, you know. And when he told me that, I felt so shocked and insulted. I was like, what a shitty gift you can give me, because one of the questions was a game was like, what is your biggest talent? And he was like, her talent is being good with words and talking. I'm like, what is this shitty talent you're giving me, right? But with a step back, I understand it better. I am meant to create with words. I'm meant to create artistically speaking, dancing, like so. I'm guessing I'm diving into it, and the more I create, the more I feel energized, right? So depends what makes you feel energized, right? What makes you feel energized? Really look deeper into your energy level when you do certain chores, certain tasks, certain things into your daily life, and that will help you be guided better in what you're meant in this life, without pressure, obviously. So, entertainment world. As I was watching those videos, all the depression of people getting, all the anxiety, all the psychological issues, all the problems, like I'm not quite aware of, personally speaking, of disorders and personality disorders, or any type of very deep disorders or very high depression. I do feel that with God's help and your divine alignment, everything is possible and all miracles happen. But I do believe as well that generational traumas and things that has not been healed just gets heavier on your shoulders as you regenerate into a new human being. So I am not at all. I'm being compassionate about the people who must be living what they're living. But it just made me realize how intense entertainment industry is. Like everything is fake. Everything is made for you to just become obsessed with watching the videos, music videos, obsessed with watching the music videos, the movies, the TV shows. Like it creates such a dopamine level. I don't think it's dopamine. I think it's the serotonin. Anyway, the hormones that makes you like super excited. I think it's dopamine, I'm not sure. So it makes you so excited that you want to have more of it, right? But in this era of technology, everything is about consumerism. Consumerism? I don't know if I can say it right. It's all, we live in a war, in information war, in a confusion war. Well, we've been living in that for so long, but especially more than ever with the access, with the era of technology, and with the over access and easy access of information on all our platforms and on our little smartphones. And I know it was inevitable at some point, but it has this double swords, double blades, double side swords, where it's just too much. And it has become to a point that we are losing our hours and precious time. Well, time is an illusion, like I said before, but this precious time of life where we just lose ourselves into watching other people's lives, into following other people's drama and TV realities and movies, that is all fictional. It has a certain reality to it at some point, because the people creating it use what they've lived and what they experienced, and sometimes put Easter eggs and matrix information into the movies, obviously. But it has blown up such in proportion that it's just constant consumerism, constant again and again, movies coming out on Netflix every 2 weeks, TV shows every month, every weeks, YouTube, all the social media platform is just constant information as I'm creating something for you to be put out there. I don't think that a creation or movie music video is bad of itself. I think that the over creation of it and over putting it out there is just so much for us to bear. I'm not saying that we should all stop to create and not put it out there, but I do say that among all this mass creation of music videos, TV shows, movies, we must be just very self aware of what we're choosing to follow, listen, watch, because it can actually drain our energy without even being aware of, and it actually can steer us away from what we're supposed to be doing or being. So it's been tottering on me for I would say, a couple of months now. Every time I would finish watching a movie that was like shitty and did not serve any purpose of my time, and I would know it, but I would still click on the play button on Netflix and would still watch it, because what else would I feel like doing, right? We're so programmed into the last 10 years to feel so tired with a work and a job that we don't like, that we have to program ourselves to watch something that is funny and stupid, to allow our brain to settle back and laugh out of it and be relaxed. We have associated relaxation and fun with something dumb and unpurposeful. Let me repeat that. We have associated, we've been programmed to associate fun and relaxing with something dumb and unpurposeful. I'm not saying all the movies and TV shows are dumb. I'm just saying that some of them might not serve your higher purpose, or a lot of them, you would agree with me. And this is a deep rooted belief or programmation that I may not be ready right now to let go of, but I'm just growing aware of. Simply because when I finished watching it, I was just like, it was either the same plot twist, either the same characters, the same actors I see, the same things. On top of it, everything has been coming out for the latest years on all this shit coming out of Hollywood, and all this toxic environments that they are in, and all this toxic, I don't know what else they're following or being followers of. And I don't want to support those things anymore, even in music industry as well, right? And I'm not asking you to do your choices right now and change all of that, because at the end of the day it surrounds us. And this is my second point. If you didn't know, I spoke about my first point for like 8 minutes. This is my second point where environment does affect us so much as a human physical body, right? We are social being. If I don't buy myself chips, for example, if I don't design my environment to my best ability to allow me to have it easier in my life, I'm just gonna fail. Not because I'm weak, but because our mind is so much ongoing with so many thoughts, so many things to try to get on. And even though every day today we have so much more pressure to have everything on track, that just having this willpower to think about what we're gonna eat, what we're gonna cook, what we're gonna say, whom we're gonna talk to, so we can feel encouraged, is just so much more weight for nothing, right? And it keeps reminding me, what would Jesus do in this case? And I like to ask myself this question sometimes, not because I expect myself to be like him, but just to see how this divine teacher was living among the humans, right? And he would retreat himself quite often on top of the mountain or by himself, to just be in complete relationship with God. And obviously, I don't expect that of myself, but I make sure that every morning, sometimes not perfect, but every morning I set up this alone time with God and with myself to realign myself. And I do believe this is a great step forward. How to do that? Make sure that you put yourself into this situation. Ring your alarm 30 minutes before you have to go work, or 30 minutes before you have to do your morning chores. Put yourself up to succeed. And same goes with your friends, family members. what you're eating. Make sure that you designing your environment to make it easy on you. And the reason why I say that is being put in parallel with the access to all these videos and movies things. So I cannot expect myself to say, "Hey, Macy, you're gonna wake up one day and say, I don't want to watch any movies and any TV shows anymore. That's end my thing." Because I just literally yesterday I was sick like a dog, and thank God I recovered it after one day. Like I was like trying to imagine myself healing from a higher power, and it was beautiful and painful at the same time because you realize how much your body needs to be in health to be able to live your life every day. Like no matter how wealthy you are, no matter how many resources you have, if you feel like shit and you're unhealthy and you're not able to be living through your day, jeez, it's a pain in the ass life. Anyhow, so if you like myself, I binge watch, like I love cooking shows. I love like animal kingdom shows. I love documentaries about cultures, but I also love those rom-coms. I don't like a lot about the drama movies or old type movies or very deep sad movies unless it's a very good movie. I don't like much of those, and I've decided recently, and now I'm being reminded. I think 2 months ago, at the beginning of this year, like I'm not good with time, guys, as you can tell. Like me with time is like flowy and unspecific. But I've told my family because they love to watch thrillers, psychological thrillers, and horror movie. And then at some point, my brother showed me a freaking movie. Like he didn't even show me the movie. He showed us a part of the movie, a clip about the centipede, whatever thing. I don't want to even describe it. Basically, a guy who's crazy in his head started to sew mouth to butt to mouth like a centipede, human centipede. That was effed up, guys. It was effed up, and the image is just dolly. And I never shared with you like my dreams and my what I've lived during my dreams and what I've experienced. It was pretty intense. I think it's too much to bear right now, especially that I just started this vlog. But all I'm saying is that I'm quite sensitive in terms of my energy and spiritual level. Like I feel a lot of things, and I thought for a long time it was normal. Everything would feel like everyone would feel like that for like normal, but we're all in different levels, or we all have different gifts, I guess. So for those many reasons, everything I've lived through my dreams and my experience in terms of spirituality, I've chosen, and I told my family, I said, listen, I've chosen to not listen anymore to those horror movies, those psychological thriller movies, and effed up movies. Like that was a step forward for me. And people were like, why? Like, isn't it fun to feel thrilled about it and be super scared and all this shit? I'm like, no. I just like, I'm not saying no forever, like if the movie is very good, but like I feel shit so deeply, guys. Like I'm not saying I have freaking nightmares of it the day after, because I live the present moment and then it's done. But with everything I've been living through and all this heightened sensitivity towards energy level and spirits, it's just like, let's not push it, right? So I chose to stop watching those type of movies. So I'm watching like soft movies or hero comics movies. And when I was talking about environment, it's not easy because in the same time, my boyfriend loves watching movies before going to sleep, and you want to have to spend some quality time with them. So I feel kind of pulled sometimes to do it just to please him because I don't feel like doing it. But at the same time, I'm reading a book sometimes about rom com, or hot, sexy comedy books. So it's not better because instead of watching it, you're just reading it, which is, you know, makes your imagination come up. So that's another form of entertainment, right? So I'm not saying I'm off entertainment, but I'm just saying intense mainstream entertainment content I've never been excited or steered towards, but I'm choosing more and more to move away from it. And I think I'm going to finish up by saying, ask yourself, be self aware after watching it. How do you feel? How is your energy level? Because the only way you're going to stop certain action that doesn't serve your higher purpose is when you become aware of how it makes you feel, right? And that can be applied for so many things in your life. And eventually, what I would love to, I know I'm not quite ready for it, is to be taking, I'm not saying everything is bad. Obviously, I'm learning so much on YouTube. I'm discovering many beautiful things. I'm using those channels myself to share my thoughts and share where I'm at, and hopefully help people along the way, and share my gifts and be able to maybe lead people at a certain point. But I hope that I know I know I will eventually, like, even Netflix has been very disinteresting for me, so I will steer away from it. And I've already stopped for a year, more than a year now, stopping watching stories, social media stories. I've stopped, consulting Snapchat. I've stopped like looking at other people's life and just creating things. It sounds like counterintuitive or very selfish of me, but it's just like I'm just more focused on creating things that are positive than just to watch other people's, like, and I love what people create when it's positive, and I'm just amazed what people do, but I cannot focus on that. I have to focus on my creativity and my creation based desire to do so. Um, because that helps me focus. Because otherwise, I just swipe, watch stories, and it just makes me lose track of. So from now on, I'm gonna be more wary and aware of how this movie or this book made me feel, and realize how it doesn't actually serve me any purpose, and hopefully it will steer me away more and more of those useless movie and TV shows that I don't need to. Cooking shows are very fun though, but movies and TV shows that are actually very mainstreams, I don't know, they hold this type of un, untold fake hypocrisy values that I do not like. Everything is fake about an industry, entertainment. I know it because I was an extra when I was younger, and it's all about like everything is perfected, everything is beautiful, and then boom, showtime, game on, camera is on, 3 2 1, boom, everything is, to the hair, to the makeup, to the little eyelash, everything is impeccable, and it shows you what they want to show you, which is all against what I'm going for, which is authenticity. And I'm not saying they're wrong to do so, because that's what made them more profitable and more popular and more bringing eyes to it and create what they create inside of us, which is excitement hormones, right? But it doesn't yield authenticity. And I think we're coming into this new era where I'll break loose. Everything that we've known for so many generations are gonna be unveiled and discovered, and it's gonna be time that we reconnect on a deeper, true, truer, truest level. Anyway, enough talking now. Um, yeah, hope you had fun listening to me, and then see you next time.